So good day everyone. So we will be talking about your cell's protoplasm. So for today's lecture, we will be using the slide of Sir Gadicho. No? So let's start by introducing again the concept of your cell. So yung cell natin is the basic living structural and functional unit of an organism. So this is capable of carrying out the processes of life independently. So since napag-usapan natin yung biological hierarchy before, we need to remember that again, yung mga bagay-bagay, no, lahat ng nabubuhay ay nagsisimula sa cell. Yung cell na yon, kapag nagsama-sama, it would become your tissue. Yung mga tissues na yon, kapag nagsama-sama, it would become yung ating tinatawag na organ. Kapag nagsasama-sama ang mga organs natin, it would become your organ system hanggang sa makapag-form ka ng tinatawag na organism. So the protoplasm is a colloidal solution consisting of a large amount of water, biological solutes such as glucose, fatty acids, minerals, vitamins, hormones, and enzyme. And meron siyang dalawang parts. Yung darker or denser part, yung usually na nasa central part ng cell natin or protoplasm would be named as your nucleus. And the surrounding part or yung pumapalibot sa nucleus is known as your cytoplasm. And it is said to be jelly-like, no? So, to illustrate, no, this is your cytoplasm, no? So, yung cytoplasm na yan, pinapalibutan niya sino? Ito si nucleus mo, no? Ito yung denser part ng cell natin na tinatawag, and around your nucleus, again, that would be your cytoplasm. Yung cytoplasm natin is doon nakasuspend yung mga organelles natin, no? Except yung nucleus, again, lahat ng organelles natin except nucleus, no, nakasuspend kay cytoplasm, no? Then, nandito rin yung fluid component natin na tinatawag na cytosol, okay? Now, we will be moving now to your inorganic compounds found in the cytoplasm. So, yung water natin, it is the most abundant inorganic constituent of the protoplasm. So, please take note, 65 to 80% yung tinitake up niya na space in the protoplasm. So, kapag sinabi nating water, meron tayong two forms. That would be your free water and your bound water. So, 95% of the total cellular water is used by the protoplasm as the solvent for various inorganic substances and organic compounds, no, is known as free water. Again, kapag siya yung solvent, no, solvent siya ng inorganic or organic compound, ang tawag sa kanya is yung free water. Okay? So, again, free water would act as your solvent. Now, kapag sinabi mong naman na bound water, no? Again, bound water, may naka-associate sa kanya. Ibig sabihin, may commitment siya, no? So, they are loosely linked, no? Doon sa yung mga protein molecules natin na tinatawag, no? Pwedeng through hydrogen bonds or other forces. Again, kung wala naman siyang commitment, no? Wala siyang linkages na tinatawag, free water yon. Pero kung may kalink siya, no? Meron siyang commitment sa ibang mga molecules natin, katulad ng protein, that is known as your bound water. So, again, 95% yung tinitake up ni free water, pero si bound water is around 5% lang. Ito yung may mga kalink. Okay? Now, let's move on. Yung water natin is sinasabi natin na best biological solvent. Before we move further, no, we need to understand the concept of your solute na solution, no? Yung solution natin, it is actually composed of your solvent and your solute. Okay. Anong pinagkaiba nito? These are the components of your solution. Kapag sinabi mong solute, no, na tinatawag, ito yung tinutunaw. Okay? The one that is being dissolved, no? Now, yung solvent natin, yun yung pantunaw. Okay? This is the medium na pinapantunaw mo. Solute yung tinutunaw, solvent yung pangtunaw. Okay? So, again, no? Yung water daw is a best biological solvent for inorganic substances such as your mineral ions, salts, and may mga organic compounds ka pa na tinatawag, carbohydrates, and protein. Nabanggit na naman dito yung konsepto ng inorganic compound and yung organic compound natin. What would be the difference? Kapag sinabi natin na inorganic compound, ang nangyayari ay, no, ito yung mga compounds natin na walang carbon, then wala siyang attachment sa mga, for example, nitrogen, oxygen, o di kaya hydrogen. But for the organic compounds, no, again, wala yan, X yan. For the organic compound, meron siyang attachment kay carbon, pwedeng kay nitrogen, kay oxygen, o di kaya kay hydrogen na tinatawag. So, again, pag inorganic, wala siyang attachment, no? Wala siyang ito, carbon, then link to other molecules. Pag organic compounds, no? Carbon plus may association siya. It's either kay nitrogen, kay oxygen, or kay hydrogen. That is your organic, okay? So, it forms the good dispersion medium for the colloidal system of the protoplasm. Now, let's move on. Yung water din natin, it could act as your temperature regulator because meron siyang high specific heat na tinatawag and high heat of vaporization. So, anong mangyayari? So, it would prevent yung drastic temperature changes in the cell. The question is, no, why would it bakit pa kinakailangan na i-maintain yung temperature natin, no? It is because, no, any drastic changes could alter yung functions ng cell natin. Nakukuha? So, again, no, kaya, ang gusto ng cell is maging constant yung temperature within. Why? Kasi pinapangalagaan niya yung ibang molecules. For example, yung enzymes natin na tinatawag. Kapag masyadong mataas, no, sobrang taas ng temperature, what would happen? It could cause yung tinatawag na denaturation. Masisira yun, no? So, kapag masyadong mababa, no, ibig sabihin, no, yung very cold yung temperature in your cell, what will happen? Hindi optimize, no, yung magiging function ng ating mga enzyme. So, isa lang yun sa pwedeng maapektuhan. Pero, marami pang pwedeng maapektuhan sa loob ng cell. That's why gusto ng cell na constant ang temperature natin. Okay? So, next tayo. So, yung water natin is also, it also serves as a good electric conductor. So, the water is a good conductor of the electricity. Therefore, it dissociates, no? So, kapag another term natin, para siyang nadadissolve, no? But, you know, you need to take note pag dissociate na paghihiwalay niya yung iba't ibang molecules na yon, no? So, it has high surface tension. Please take note this one. And the water has greater importance for the various metabolic functions because most of them require exclusively aqueous media. Okay? Now, so yung water natin, it also serves as your medium for transport. So, remember, no, for example, ito yung cell natin. No? Yung cell natin is may intracellular. Ibig sabihin ng intracellular is intra means inside the cell. Yung labas is, yung outside the cell natin would be known as your extracellular. So, meron tayong mga ions dito, no? May mga ions dyan sa labas. Meron din mga ions dito. Now, yung water natin would facilitate yung movement ng mga ions na to. Nakukuha? So, that is why very important si water as your medium for transport. Ibig sabihin, siya yung nagkakos para mag-move yung mga gradient natin. Okay, now, the water is immiscible with the non-polar liquids as the lipids na tinatawag. So, what do you mean by immiscible? Hindi siya na hahalo because yung polarity ng water natin is, ang water ay polar molecule. Whereas, no, yung lipids natin, kunyari yung mga fats natin, these are said to be non-polar. Now, kapag, for example, tinatry mo na pagsamahin yung mga chemicals, no, para maging miscible sila, ibig sabihin, para sila ay mag-mix, no, meron ka dapat same ng polarity. Okay, anong ibig sabihin nun? Kung ang water ay polar, no, para maging miscible siya, ibig sabihin ng miscible na halo, no, nagmi-mix, kailangan polar din yung another molecule natin. Okay, nagigets? Again, concept natin sa pag miscible, no, dapat like sila ng polar to another polar. Now, kapag for example, no, in the case of water and your lipids, no, imaginein mo ang isang example ng polar na non-polar, should I say, is yung mga oil. Okay? Again, isang example niya, oil. Yung polar molecule natin, water. Yung non-polar natin is yung oil. I-try mong pag-mix sila, anong mangyayari? Ang mangyayari ay, syempre, hindi sila magmi-mix. Okay? So again, hindi sila miscible, or in our term, immiscible ang tawag doon, no? Bakit? Ang konsepto natin, no, dapat polar to polar siya. Okay? Again, polar to polar. So now, no, so its molecules would remain stable and unmixed with the lipid contents of the plasma membrane and other intracellular membranes. So we also have your minerals. So in the protoplasm, the minerals usually occur in the form of salts and in combination with the organic compounds. So yung mga mineral salts natin, they could be in the form of ions in the protoplasm. So you need to take note, pag sinabi mong ion, no, charge, atom. Again, pag sinabi mong ion, this is your charged atom. Now, meron kang dalawang klase ng ion. Kapag sinabi mong cation, no, ito yung positive, 'di ba? Positive ion siya, okay? So again, take note ko lang, ang ion mo pwedeng cation or pwedeng anion. Kung may positive, yung kabaligtaran niya would be negative, 'di ba? So meron ka ring negative ion na tinatawag. So now, for example, meron akong sodium, no? Sodium plus. So ano ang charge nito? So, or ano ang tawag dito? Yes, that would be yung cation. No, why? Because ito, positive ion siya. Pero, paano kung chloride, no? Anong tawag dito sa ion na to? So again, this is your anion. Bakit? Kasi negative charge ion siya. Okay? So, now, you also have your electrolytes na tinatawag, no? So, yung electrolytes natin, these are the inorganic compounds which by dissolving in water become ionized are known as electrolytes. But those which do not dissociate in the solvent but remain as such in the molecular stated are known as non-electrolytes. So, again, no? So, yung mga inorganic compounds, no, na dinesolve mo sa water, nakapag-release siya ng mga ions na tinatawag. For example, yung sodium chloride mo na tinatawag, di ba? Sodium chloride, or also known as your table salt. Kapag hinalo mo siya sa water, no, so what will happen? It will dissociate, no, into yung tinatawag na sodium plus yung chloride natin. So, those are your electrolytes. Pero for example, may mga compounds tayo na kapag hinalo mo sa water, no, ang nangyayari is hindi sila nagde-dissociate, no? They would remain, no? And yun yung tinatawag na non-electrolytes, okay? So, importante bang electrolytes? Yes, because they could maintain yung tinatawag na osmotic pressure natin, no? Ano yung osmotic pressure? Yun yung responsible sa tinatawag na balance ng fluid inside and outside the cell, okay? So, importante din yung konsepto ng acid-base equilibrium. Why? Because we don't want na sobrang acidic yung katawan natin or else it could damage yung other vital organs natin. May mga certain ions such as your magnesium na importante because yung magnesium natin could act as tinatawag na cofactor. Again, iuulitin ko, pag sinabi natin magnesium, isa sa kanyang function na tinatawag ay cofactor. So, ano ba yung cofactor na yan? So, kinakailangan si cofactor para yung isang enzyme mo is gumana properly. Okay? So, again, kinakailangan si enzyme, si cofactor para si enzyme is gumana. Okay? So, that is your cofactor. Okay? Now, you also have your phosphate ion, no? So, nakikita mo siya sa adenosine triphosphate, which is yung energy natin, no? So, meron pa tayong ibang importanteng ions, yung sodium, potassium, calcium, chlorine, carbonate, and sulfate, and amino acid. For your assignment, no? Please study this, no? Ano yung mga function na to in our body. Okay? So, let's move on. So, you also have your non-electrolytes. Again, some of the minerals occur in the protoplasm in non-ionizing state. So, ibig sabihin, kahit ihalo mo siya sa tubig, they would remain the same, no? So, please take note. Sorry. So, the calcium, aside from that, no, yung mga non-electrolytes natin would become yung sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, copper, then iodine, iron, manganese, no, fluorine, no, molybdenum, chlorine, then zinc and cobalt and nickel. Okay? So, now, yung iron natin, na tinatawag, they could occur, saan mo siya pwedeng makikita? Sa hemoglobin. Remember your hemoglobin, no? Pwede siyang mag-transport ng mga oxygen all throughout the body. And isa sa tumutulong sa kanya, no? Isa sa component niya ay si iron. Makikita mo siya sa ferritin cytochromes and some enzymes as catalase and cytochrome oxidase. Si calcium naman, makikita mo siya sa blood, no? And even sa mga bones. Si copper, manganese, molybdenum, and zinc, they are said to be cofactors. Again, anong ibig sabihin ng cofactors? Ang cofactors natin, no? They are required, again, para to allow enzymes to work properly. So, ibig sabihin, no, para gumana ng maayos yung ating enzyme. Okay? Now, meron din tayong tinatawag na iodine, no? These are important naman. Yung iodine, importante siya sa thyroid function natin, no? Si fluorine, importante naman siya sa enamel natin, no? Para hindi masira. Now, you have your organic compounds found in the cytoplasm. Ano-ano kaya yon? So, kapag sinabi natin organic compound, meron kang carbon, no? And nag-i-interact siya, it's either kay hydrogen, nitrogen, no? Pwede ring oxygen, o di kaya kay sulfur. So, these are said to be your organic compounds. And they contain large molecules which are formed by the similar or dissimilar unit structures known as your monomers. Si monomer, siya yung pinaka-simple structure natin. Now, let's move on. So, pag monomer, simplest unit, no, ng organic molecule. And they could exist freely, no? So, anong example nun? Yung mga carbohydrates natin, meron silang monomer. Kapag carbohydrates, yung monomer niya would be known as your monosaccharide, no? Yun yung pinaka-basic form ng carbohydrates. So, again, yung monomers na yun, pwede mong pagsama-samahin, no? Then, they would become your oligomers, then yung polymers na tinatawag. So, kapag, for example, pinagsama ko yung another monomer to another monomer, no? That would become your oligomers, okay? Pero pag sobrang dami na ng monomers, no? It would become your polymers, no? So, let's tackle your biomolecules. So there are a lot of biomolecules, mainly your carbohydrates, lipid, nucleic acid, and your proteins. So yung biomolecules natin have a wide range of sizes, structures, and they are involved in a vast array of life functions. So they are composed of more than 25 naturally occurring elements which compose of your carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. Now, the question is, no, is it an organic molecule? Yes, it is an organic molecule. Okay? Now, we already differentiated your monomers. Again, these are your simplest biomolecules na tinatawag. And kapag nagsama-sama sila, they could now form yung tinatawag na polymer. Okay? So, now, punta tayo sa first natin na biomolecule known as your carbohydrates. So kapag sinabi mong carbohydrates, this is essential in our diet because it provides immediate energy. Okay? Ba't ka kumakain ng kanin? Kasi para magka-energy ka kaagad. Okay? So they are made up of the following: carbon, hydrogen, and your oxygen. The question is it an organic compound or molecule? Yes, this is an organic compound na tinatawag. Okay? So, now, no, you need to take note na yung mga to, no, they could be formed between a covalent bond could be formed between a carbohydrate molecule, and that is known as your glycosidic bond. For example, ang monomer, no, ng carbohydrates, yung simplest form, again, ng carbohydrates would be your monosaccharide. So, monosaccharide plus monosaccharide, no, pwede siyang magiging tinatawag na disaccharide. Okay, now, merong magdudugtong sa dalawang to. Ibig sabihin, yun yung bond nila, di ba? Ang tawag doon is known as your glycosidic bond. Again, the term is known as your glycosidic bond. Now, take note, no, na only green plants and certain microbes have the power of synthesizing the carbohydrates from the water and carbon dioxide. So remember the process of your photosynthesis na tinatawag. So in your photosynthesis, ang kailangan ng halaman is carbon dioxide plus water plus sunlight. Tama? So now, no, what will happen? They will be able to produce their own food na tinatawag, which is yung glucose natin. Now, yung glucose natin, or the C6H12O6, no, this one is your carbohydrate. Okay? Ito yung simplest molecule na pwede nating makreate. Plus, ano pang makikreate niya? Oxygen. So, this one is your photosynthesis. Okay? So, remember, no, ito, good enough na siya, no? Pero kapag magiging strict tayo in chemistry, di ba, we need to balance it. So, in order to balance it, 6 carbon dioxide, 6 water, 6 molecule of water, then, okay, 1 molecule of glucose, then you have 6 molecules of oxygen. So, all the animals, no, on green plants, no, tayong mga tao, we would depend on green plants, no, for the supply of carbohydrates. So, pwedeng kinakain natin, di ba? Kumakain tayo ng kanin, ganyan. So, this is your carbohydrates na tinatawag. So, it could be monosaccharide, yung mga monomers natin. Pag pinagsama mo yung monosaccharide plus monosaccharide, that would become your disaccharide later on. Then, kapag dumami pa yung mga monomers natin, pinagsama-sama mo pa sila, they could later form yung polysaccharide natin. So, what are those sugar na makikita mo in the monosaccharide. Again, that is your glucose, fructose, and your ribose na tinatawag. Now, you also have your disaccharides or the dimers, no? Anong makikita? Ano yung mga example nun? Pag pinagsama mo yung monosaccharide plus monosaccharide, again, that would become your disaccharide. So, ano-ano ang example ng disaccharide natin? That is your sucrose na tinatawag. You also have your maltose and you also have your lactose na tinatawag. Okay? So, now, please take note, yung different monosaccharides natin, take note natin, glucose, you also have your fructose, then you have your galactose. Now, kapag itong dalawa to, no, itong mga to, these are your disaccharides. Again, these are your disaccharide. So, what do you mean by disaccharide? That is monosaccharide plus another monosaccharide. Okay? Now, yan yun. Diba? Ito yun. Monosaccharide yan. Then, another monosaccharide. Tama? So, that is your disaccharide. Yung glucose mo, again, monosaccharide yan. Yung fructose mo, another monosaccharide. So, pag dalawang monosaccharide, that is known as that would become your disaccharide. Now, ito yung pag yung glucose, no, at fructose pinagsama ko, ang tawag ko na dyan ay sucrose. Yung table sugar, no, yan yun. Now, kapag pinagsama ko yung galactose tsaka glucose, lactose ang maproproduce ko. Diba? Yung kung bakit matamis ang gatas, ito yon. Next, what if marami pang units ng monomers ang ipagsasama ko? So, pwedeng ako magkaroon ng cellulose, starch, and even yung glycogen. And these are termed as your polysaccharides. So, hindi ko na babanggitin yung mga structure natin kasi you will be dealing sa mga structures natin ng sa inyong biochem or organic chemistry. Now, again, paulit-ulit tayo, no? May monosaccharides tayo na tinatawag. Kapag sinabi nating monosaccharide, this is the monomer of your carbohydrates. Again, monomer of carbohydrates. Kapag sinabi mong monomer, no, ito yung simplest form of sugar natin. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, no, ang simplest form ng sugar, siya yung pinaka-basic form natin. So, again, these are composed of a single unit of polyhydroxyaldehyde or pwede rin namang ketone. Again, pwedeng aldehyde, pwedeng ketone. Okay? Now, ang monosaccharide, colorless siya, crystalline solids, and they are completely soluble in water. Ibig sabihin, pwede mo siyang ihalo sa tubig. So, they are involved in generating energy for the body. Example nyon, glucose, fructose, ribose, and your galactose. So, ito yung formula ng ating monosaccharide. Okay? Now, they are classified and named according to the number of carbon atoms. Kapag 3 carbon atoms yon, trioses. Example, yung glyceraldehyde natin and dihydroxyacetone or DHAP na tinatawag, no? So, yung mga yan, tatlo lang yung carbon molecules mo. So, trioses sila. Pero pag naging 4, tetroses siya. Example, erythrulose, no? Paano kapag naging 6? So, meron kang hexoses. Example niyan, yung glucose natin, di ba? Remember, C6H12O6 siya, di ba? So, ito yon, no? 6 carbon atom, so hexoses. Yung fructose din natin, 6 carbon atom, and yung galactose din natin. Paano kapag naging 7? Heptosis, one example is yung pseudoheptulose. Now, we have your triose. So, bakit siya triose? Kasi meron kang 3 carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Ilan yung carbon atom mo for this? 1, 2, 3. Kaya siya triose. Now, you need to take note, no, na magkaiba, meron tayong mga terms such as your aldose and yung tinatawag na ketose. Okay? So, pag sinabi mong aldose na tinatawag, no? Again, aldose, ang titignan natin is yung tinatawag na position ng ating carbonyl group. Ito yon, C double bond O. Now, using this illustration, nasaan yung C double bond O mo? Sa una, dito. Saan kaya? Ito yon, di ba? Yan. Sige. Sa pangalawa, dito, nasaan ang C double bond O? Nandito sa gitna. Okay. In order to differentiate your aldose and ketose, ang aldose natin, no? Yung aldose natin, yung position ng carbonyl natin is at the end of the carbon chain. Okay? At the end siya. Okay? Now, kapag ketose natin, yung carbonyl group natin na yan is nasaan? Within the carbon chain. Okay, check natin. Yung una, is it an aldose or is it a ketose? Okay, check natin yung carbonyl group. Ito, nasa dulo ba siya or nasa gitna? So, nasa dulo. So, therefore, this one is your aldose. Now, ito naman yung ating carbonyl group na tinatawag. So, nasa loob siya ng carbon, napapagitnaan siya, di ba? Ng dalawa pa mga carbon. So, this one is your ketose na tinatawag. Now, you also have yung tinatawag na pentose, no? So, you have your ribulose, then ribose. So, again, bakit siya pentose? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 carbon sugar ang meron. Okay? Next, what if hexose? Ilang carbon sugar? 6. Check natin kung tama. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, tama. This one is a 6 carbon sugar. Okay? So, to reiterate, no, yung mga disaccharides natin, again, pag pinagsama ko yung glucose and fructose, pwede siyang maging sucrose later on. Ito yung table sugar natin na tinatawag. Galactose and glucose, lactose naman yan. Pag glucose and glucose, maltose ang pwede mong magawa. Okay? So now, let's move on now to your proteins na tinatawag. So, ano ba ang proteins, no? So, proteins are unbranched polymers of amino acid. Ibig sabihin ng proteins, no? Kapag pinagsama-sama mo ng maraming beses yung mga amino acids natin, yun yung at ang magiging resulta nun is yung tinatawag na protein. Therefore, ano ang monomer ng ating protein? That is known as your amino acid. Okay? Yung amino acid, pag pinagsama-sama, again, magiging protein. Ang ating monosaccharide, pag pinagsama-sama mo, eventually, magiging polysaccharide na siya or magiging polymers, di ba? So, take note nyo, may 22 amino acids tayo na tinatawag, no? So, they could serve as structural support, no? Kunyari, yung mga collagen natin, keratin, that is a form of protein, and they would be part of your structural support. Biochemical catalyst, no? Same lang to sa enzymes. Then, you also have your hormones, then mga building blocks natin, and initiator of your cell death na tinatawag. Anong component? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and your sulfur. Yung kanina, no, yung nagdudugtong sa mga glucose natin or mga carbohydrates natin in between is known as your glycosidic bond. Pero pagdating sa protein, yung nagdudugtong-dugtong sa kanila is known as your peptide bond. Okay? So, ito yung ating tawag dito, pag ito tinanggal mo yung water, no, pwede na silang magdikit, no? Ito yung tinatawag natin na peptide bond. Okay? Yung nagdudugtong sa dalawang amino acid natin. Now, the protoplasm is dependent almost entirely upon proteins for its supply of nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus. Again, the proteins are the polymers of the amino acid and an organic compound containing one or more amino groups, which is yung NH2 natin, and yung COOH natin is the carboxyl groups. So, yung mga yan, no, kapag may amino groups ka, carboxyl groups ka, that is known as your amino acid. Now, ito yung ating carboxyl group, OOH, yung kanyang itsura. Then, amino group, NHH. Ito yon. Okay? Now, there are different amino acids na gusto nyong dapat yung malaman, no? Medyo bulky lang siya, maraming kakabisaduhin. Pero we will start as early as now because sobrang mas marami kayong need na aralin kapag kayo ay nag-second year. So, may mga electrically charged tayo na mga side chains na tinatawag. So, ang gusto ko lang maalala nyo dito is hindi kasama yung structure. Wag na yan. Ang kailangan kong maalala nyo is sino yung nasa positive, no? Positively charged, arginine, histidine, and lysine. Pag ng mga negatively charged, aspartic acid and glutamic acid. Ano naman yung mga amino acid with polar uncharged side chain? Si serine, threonine, asparagine, glutamine. Okay, ano pa yung kailangan yung maalala? Kung ano yung, nila, kapag in-abbreviate sila in 3 letter, and ano yung kanilang, yung alphabet na symbol. Kunyari, arginine, ang 3-letter abbreviation sa kanya, ARG, pero pag 1 letter lang is R. So, H is histidine. Pag K, lysine siya. Okay? So, you also have yung mga amino acid with hydrophobic side chains like alanine, valine, isoleucine, leucine, methionine, phenylalanine, tyrosine, and your tryptophan. For special cases, no, cysteine na tinatawag, no? Because meron kang sulfohydryl group. Selenocysteine, because meron kang selenium na tinatawag. You also have your glycine na tinatawag, then your proline na tinatawag. Okay? So, yun yung mga special cases natin. Now, another na kailangang aralin, ano yung mga non-essential sa mga essential. So, ito, pwede nyo kabisaduhin kahit yung essential lang muna. Pag sinabi mo kasing essential, kailangan mo. So, anong gagawin mo? Kailangan mong kainin, no? Hindi kasi siya nagagawa ng katawan. But non-essential, they are usually produced by our body. Okay? So, again, yung proteins natin, no? Yung proteins natin, they are actually being categorized, no? Again, they are categorized in 4 groups na tinatawag. So, ano ba yung 4 groups na yon, no? So, that would be yung ating primary structure na tinatawag. And they are, sila yung may mga usually na mga peptide bond, ang kanilang ugnayan, no? So, now, secondary structure, sila yung mga folded structure natin na tinatawag. And, bakit sila folded structure? Kasi, due to the formation of hydrogen bonds between amide hydrogen and the carbonyl oxygen of the peptide backbone. And para madaling maalala, no, kapag sinabi mong secondary structure, nandyan yung maririnig, yung alpha helix and yung beta sheets na tinatawag. Okay? Proteins pa na iba would be your tertiary structure na tinatawag. This is actually in 3D form, no? So, again, no, due to the interaction between R groups or side chains of the amino acid that make up the proteins, no? Then you also have your quaternary structure. This structure forms between 2 or more polypeptide chains, and each polypeptide chain is called as a subunit. So the quaternary structures may occur between identical or different polypeptide chains. The bonds involved in the formation of these structures involve hydrophobic bonds, electrostatic bonds, hydrogen bonds, and your covalent cross-links. So, ito yung primary structures natin. These are your secondary structure natin na may beta sheet and alpha helix, no? Ito naman yung tertiary structure natin and your quaternary structure. So, in your level, no, importante sa akin na maalala nyo lang yung different levels of structure. Kahit by name na lang muna. Meron kang primary, secondary, tertiary, and your quaternary. Okay? So, let's have your nucleic acid. This is the monomer. Nucleic acid is another biomolecule, no? So, again, they are present in cells and viruses, and they are involved in the storage and transfer of genetic material. So, ang monomer ng nucleic acid mo would be your nucleotides, no? Kapag yung nucleotides pinagsama-sama mo, that would become your nucleic acid. So, yung bonding nila, di ba? Kapag pinagsama-sama mo sila, kailangan nilang may bond sila. Kailangan nilang magkakadikit. So, that would be the phosphodiester and the hydrogen bond. So, ngayon, no, you need to take note na ang nucleotides natin is a combination of your nucleic acid na tinatawag, DNA and RNA. Ang nucleotide natin is made up of nitrogenous base na tinatawag, which could be composed of your adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine, or uracil. Meron siyang phosphate group na tinatawag and your carbon sugar. Okay? So, this one, no? This one is a DNA, no, na tinatawag. So, yung DNA natin, no, is very important, no? Bakit? Because dito, nandyan yung genetic information natin, tinatawag. Now, ang nucleotide natin is itong nakabilog. So, ano ang component niya? This one is your phosphate group na tinatawag. Again, this is your phosphate group. Now, after nyan, no, what is this one? Ano tong pentagon na to? So, itong pentagon na to is known as this one is known as your pentose sugar. Or, pentagon, di ba? Pentose sugar. So, ano yung mga pentose sugar natin? It's either, pwede siyang deoxyribose or pwede siyang ribose na tinatawag. Okay? Now, the question is, no, dahil DNA to, ayan no, DNA siya, ano ang klase ng sugar na present dito? So, that would be your deoxyribose. So, this one is your deoxyribose. Now, etong area na to, ito yung tinatawag na nitrogenous bases. Now, ang nitrogenous bases natin could be divided into your purines na tinatawag and your pyrimidine. Now, ang purine natin would be as follows, no? Ano yun? That would be your adenine na tinatawag and your guanine, no? So, take note nyo to because these are high yield, okay? Pyrimidines naman na tinatawag is yung mga cytosine natin na tinatawag, no? You also have your thymine, no? And yung uracil. Yung uracil, no? Naman, makikita mo lang siya only found in RNA. Okay? So, nagdidikit sa kanila or nagbabond or naglilink sa kanila? That would be your phosphodiester bond. Again, that would be the phosphodiester bond. Okay? So, ito yon, phosphodiester bond, no? Bakit phospho? Kasi phosphate group ang may connection, no? For the cases, for example, ito, may mga bonds kasi between this nitrogenous bases and that is, ang nagdudugtong sa kanila would be your hydrogen bonds. Now, sabi natin na nasabi ko na, nucleotides, meron kang nitrogenous bases natin, meron kang purines and pyrimidines. Pag yung purines natin, that would be your adenine and guanine to better. Para maalala nyo maigi, ang mnemonics ko dyan ay puwag. Yan. No? Then the rest would be pyrimidines. Okay? So, take note nyo to. Thymine are only found in the DNA. Cytosine, pwedeng both DNA and RNA. Uracil naman natin is found only in RNA. Then you also have your 5-carbon sugar, the pentose sugar, 'di ba? Pentagon, 'di ba? Naalala niyo pag pentagon 5, pentose 5-carbon sugar, no? So, yung isa ribose kapag sa RNA siya, pero pag deoxyribose, that is present in the DNA. So, itong mga to, yung mga nucleic acid natin, nasa D-stereoisomer configuration siya. phosphoric acid ion or the phosphate group. So they are involved in the polymerization of the nucleotides. So kung yung dalawang phosphate group is may connection sa bawat isa, no, yung naglilink sa kanila is known as your phosphodiester bond links. Okay? Now, ito yung two groups of nucleic acid natin na tinatawag. You have your deoxyribonucleic acid, no, or the DNA. So the DNA or the hereditary material that resides inside the nucleus. So you have your double helix. So dalawa, double helix siya, no? And this represents two polynucleotides, DNA coiled around a central helix. So these are said, yung two strands na yon, no? Ano yung strands na yun? Let me go back. Ito yan. Ayan yung mga strands na yan, no? First strand, ito yung second strand mo, no? They are said to be anti-parallel, no? And it is the genetic material that stores all the information, no, required to be transferred to the offspring. So again, nandito yung genetic material mo. That's why we are having yung tinatawag na concept ng heredity. Because in heredity, you pass yung mga information, no, or the genes from the mother or from the parents to the offspring na tinatawag. You also have a ribonucleic acid. So these are present in all living organism, and it has different roles to play in different organism. It acts as a genetic material in some viruses and has enzymatic activity in other organism. So meron tayong three types. You have your rRNA, mRNA, and tRNA. So DNA carrying the genetic information can't leave its home, the nucleus, and this is why RNA exists. So siya yung lalabas later on, palabas ng nucleus. They are involved. Bakit? Nasaan ba ang DNA? Ang DNA natin ay nasa loob ng nucleus, no? Again, yung DNA natin, nasa loob siya ng nucleus. Si DNA, bawal siya lumabas, no? Para ma-relay niya yung message, yung information na yun, para makalabas siya, kinakailangan mo ng tulong ni mRNA. Okay? So, ito yung mga nitrogenous bases natin, yung adenine and guanine natin. This is also known as your purines, no? Si thymine, cytosine, and uracil, these are under what you call yung tinatawag na pyrimidine. Okay? Now, we also have our lipids na tinatawag. So, a lipid is any of various organic compounds that are insoluble or poorly insoluble in water, meaning immiscible. Because our concept kanina, di ba, like dissolves like, polar to polar, non-polar to non-polar. So, ngayon, no, kung ang lipids natin ay non-polar at ang water natin ay polar molecule, what will happen? Hindi sila magmimix, di ba? So, ano-ano ba yung itsura or ano ba yung under your lipids? You have your fats, you have your waxes, you have your oils na tinatawag, yung hormones, and certain components of membrane. And they would function as energy storage molecules. So, dito na i-store yung mga energy natin, no? Pwedeng sa lipids, and they could act as your chemical messenger. Anong monomer nila? Glycerol and fatty acid. Ano ang bonding, no? That would be your ester bond. So the fatty acids are attached to each of these three carbons of the glycerol molecule with an ester bond through the oxygen atom. Okay? So, yung meron tayong tinatawag na saturated and unsaturated. Again, meron tayong tinatawag na unsaturated and saturated. So, take note nyo kung anong pinagkaiba na itong saturated versus mga unsaturated natin na tinatawag. Okay? So, kasi mahalaga siya. Lalong-lalo na, no, kung ano yung magiging effect niya later on, no? So, for example, no, ang mga saturated, sulat ko na lang dito. Pag sinabi mong saturated fatty acids natin, no, sila yung may carbon, then single bond lang sa another carbon natin. Okay? So, kaya siya nagiging saturated. Okay, bakit? Kasi maraming nakakabit na hydrogen atom later on. Okay? Yan yung ating saturated fatty acid. Pero, for example, di ba? For example, in unsaturated kasi, minsan meron kang double bond. For example, ito, no? Yung carbon mo is double bonded with another carbon. Ano mangyayari, no? So, H, then another H, no? So, ito, H, then another H. Anong mapapansin mo? Kulang ka na, hindi ka na pwedeng maglagay dito ng another hydrogen atom kasi hindi na siya balance, okay? So ito, kaya siya nagiging unsaturated kasi may double bond ka, then less yung mga hydrogen atoms mo, okay? So dahil nag-double bond ka na. So the lipids of the animal cell protoplasm contain the fatty acid such as your palmitic, stearic, palmitoleic, oleic, linoleic, and linolenic acids. Okay? So, this is your glycerol, no? This is your fatty acids na tinatawag. And this is your triglyceride. Okay? So, again, ano yung ano natin? Ano yung kanilang monomer, the glycerol, and your fatty acid. Kapag pinagsama-sama mo sila, nagkaroon sila ng bond, that would become your ester bond. So, later on, no, yung glycerol mo at fatty acid, pag pinagsama-sama mo sila, they would become your triglyceride na tinatawag. So, meron tayong tinatawag na simple lipids. So, kapag sinabi mong simple lipids, these are your natural fats, and they are naturally occurring fats which occur in animal and plant cell, and they could be stored as food substances. May mga waxes din tayo. Simple lipids din sila, and they are the esters of fatty acid of high molecular weight with the alcohols except the glycerol. So the most important constituent alcohol of the molecules of the wax is the cholesterol. Take note nyo to, ha. So example ng waxes natin is yung mga beeswax natin. You also have your compound lipids, steroids, yung mga tinuturok-turok, di ba? So that's a compound lipids. So again, this lipid contain a common cyclic nucleus of cyclopentano perhydropenantrene. Okay, so take note nyo to. The common steroids of the protoplasm of the animal cells are the sex hormone. Yun yung example ng mga steroids natin. Adrenocortical hormone, no? Hormones natin, vitamin D, and your bile salts. So they are known to possess yung OH group natin or the hydroxyl group, and in their molecules, no, kapag meron kang steroids tas may OH group, that is known as your sterols. So the sterol alcohol, cholesterol, occurs in the bile, brain, adrenal gland, blood, and other animals. So the plant cell usually contain no cholesterol in their cellular protoplasm. So this is your cyclopentanoperhydropenantrene na tinatawag, no? So now, let's have your compound lipids. Yung phospholipids natin, pwede natin yan makita saan? Sa plasma membrane. So ang component niya would be glycerol, fatty acid, and phosphoric acid. So yung phospholipid natin, again, saan makikita? Sa membrane or sa cell membranes na tinatawag. Okay? So yung lipids natin are said to be hydrophobic, and they are structurally composed of a chain of hydrocarbons. They are chemically more diverse than the other biomolecules, and they are primarily involved in membrane structure and energy storage. So yung hydrophobic nature of lipids stems from the main non-polar covalent bonds. So yung water, on the other hand, has polar covalent bonds and mixes well only with the other polar or charged compounds na tinatawag. Okay? So since this one is usually yung lipids natin ay kapart ng membrane structure, just remember, no, ito yung ating phospholipid, no? Ito yung tail natin na tinatawag, ito yung head natin. This head is said to be polar and this tail is said to be non-polar. Okay? So, itong kunyari, no, yung water natin, dumaan to sa water. Ito, check. Pwede siyang miscible siya, 'di ba? Pwede siyang mag-mix. Pero kapag napunta siya sa bandang tail, it is already immiscible. Okay? So this one is your amphipathic lipid. So this one is your polar or hydrophilic groups, and this is your non-polar or hydrophobic groups na tinatawag, sorry. Then you also have your aqueous, no? So lipid by layer, bakit? So dalawang layer dalawang layer nito. This is your first layer and this is another layer. And this is your lipid bilayer. And you also have yung micelle natin na tinatawag, no? Ito siya. Nagpapalibot siya. Okay? So, if you have any questions, kindly message me sa MS Teams. Then, please make an evaluation after mong mapanood ito. Okay?